So you're thinking about finally taking some big trips or making some other purchases to finally enjoy yourself as you get older, and you feel guilty about spending down your savings or investment. We felt that way ourselves. We had spent our working years focused on how to keep our spending under control, and now we're reaching the stage where we're shifting away from work, which means less income and less opportunity to build and replenish our savings. That can increase the pressure to be frugal, avoid spending down those investments, make them last as long as possible. There's other issues you need to consider at this point. In this video, we're going to talk about why you should finally spend down some of your savings on things you've been dreaming about, and why that may be in your interest. For entirely logical reasons, you can align with the general advice from many retirement planners, and as part of a long-term financial and retirement plan. When we were in our 50s, we were always worried about whether we'd have enough savings to retire and how long those savings would last. We met with a financial planner to get a better idea of our long-term financial health and what our retirement would look like. Our finances were relatively straightforward. We had no pensions, just Social Security and 401ks, our house, and some other savings and investments. So the planner ran our numbers through a standard simulation to see how our assets would grow over the long term and the impact of drawing them down at a monthly spending level that we had defined, how much we could expect to have for additional planned or unplanned expenses, and what would be left over for our daughter to inherit. It was a really valuable exercise that projected our financial health over the next 40 years or so, until our end of plan. Here's a highly simplified example of what this type of plan looks like. The orange bars represent the income from wages, and the purple represent income from Social Security. The yellow line represents a minimum spending level that you set for yourself to maintain your household. The green bars show the balances in your savings and investments. Most plans simulate average or below average market conditions to project how your account balances will be maintained without any new investment. And the blue bars show how much a person will draw from their savings and investments to meet their minimum household spending and to pay for things like travel or other purchases during retirement. Again, this is a really simplified example of how this type of analysis would look. An actual plan will consider more factors, such as when your house is paid off or if you downsize to a less expensive home, and the impact of other major expenses that you can anticipate, like in our case, it was originally setting aside money to buy an apartment overseas. Our plan combined both of our incomes and assets, along with the anticipated dates for each of us ending work, and when each would begin to draw from Social Security. And in a real analysis, you can display changes in long-term balances due to the impacts of different market scenarios, and see the impacts of a below-average market to average to above average. I'd like to pause for a moment and ask you to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you like this kind of content. And we also have a free newsletter that focuses on how to thrive in your post-work life. The link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the notes section of this video. This type of analysis is important for anyone wanting to travel or do other activities in retirement that will require any additional spending beyond your normal budget. You need to be able to see the impacts of spending down your investments and savings and how the timing of these drawdowns will impact your overall balance. And if your circumstances change, or the performance of your retirement accounts change, you can adjust the factors in the projection to see the long-term impacts. In this version of a projection, this person has minimal draws from savings and investments, which helps the balances of their accounts continue to grow over the person's lifetime. It anticipates a need to draw more as the person ages and needs more medical care and assistance, and a possible bigger draw at the end of life for the possibility of nursing home care. This type of analysis can go beyond answering the basic question of whether you'll have enough funds to maintain a minimal spending in retirement. It lets you see the impact of any spending beyond the minimum required to maintain your household for things like travel, bigger purchases, or other recreation activities. And it also is important to see how the timing of that spending will impact your financial health later in retirement. But a major issue to consider when developing your financial plan is how your health will impact your ability to undertake the activities that you want to pursue during your retirement. And that's especially important for anyone planning to travel. Some planners refer to 3 phases of retirement based on your physical health. They call it the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. Each of these phases has implications for planning your activities and the timing of when you should be spending down your savings. The go-go years refers to the active phases of life where a person is still in good health and able to pursue an active lifestyle. You should be in that phase before you retire or when you're beginning retirement, and it can last until the age 70 or a bit later, depending on your overall health. That's the time to take more demanding trips and participate in more active hobbies or other activities. And that's the phase which may require you to spend more of your savings. The slow-go years are the times around ages 70 to 80. That's when people start to slow down due to declining health and mobility. You may need to scale back your physical activity at this point to account for diminished physical health and endurance. And the no-go years begin later, maybe ages 80 and beyond, when your physical and cognitive abilities decline. A person in that period has a limited capacity for physical activity and may require more assistance or maybe long-term care. People spend more for healthcare at this stage of their lives. Your overall health and physical capacity in each of these phases is going to impact how you spend your savings, and your financial plan should anticipate your spending needs during each of those phases. So, for example, your go-go phase should be the time when you finally take the trips that you'd always dreamed about and you have those bucket list experiences. Finally do the things that you've put off due to family, work, or other responsibilities. That's the time to take advantage of your health and mobility, to take longer flights, visit places that may require you to walk further to see the attractions, do more physically demanding activities, go out on your own to sightsee. Do things you may not be able to do in a few years once your health begins to fade. Spending on those activities can be factored into your financial plan to see the overall impact on your savings. You'll be drawing from your savings to pay for those activities and purchases. That's going to reduce your overall balances, but being able to do enjoyable things in retirement is part of why people save and invest in the first place. And it's not really something that you can put off until later. The time period that you're going to be physically able to do these types of activities is limited. So you add this spending to your financial plan and see if you're able to make it work. The goal is to be able to spend while still retaining enough funds for living after you slow down. How much you're willing to draw down your balances depends on your long-term objectives. You may want to maximize your spending throughout your go-go retirement years while ensuring that you have enough to last till the end. Or you may want to have a defined amount remaining at the end of your plan for your kids to inherit. The planners will define your end of plan to estimate how much you're going to have remaining at that point to go to your heirs. And that sounds a bit morbid, but keeping an idea of an end of plan in mind can really help reinforce the importance of pursuing your goals while you're still able. The slow-go years are the times around ages 70 to 80 when people are starting to slow down due to declining health and mobility. Most people are still active, but their pace is reduced compared to the go-go years, and their spending on leisure activities will likely decrease, which can reduce the drawdown, though some may see healthcare costs start to rise during this period. Since the person is drawing less from their investments and savings, their balances may resume some additional growth during this period. You can still travel and do recreational activities during this period, but it's a good idea to focus on your physical limitations and try to arrange trips that don't overtax your capabilities. Shorter flights or flights with layovers of a few days that give you a chance to acclimate. Spending a bit more on direct flights instead of connections. River cruises or guided bus tours instead of renting a car and traveling from village to village. Selecting accommodations in the center of town to reduce the amount of walking required. Slower travel at a less demanding pace. And the no-go years will start around age 80 or beyond, when your physical and cognitive abilities significantly decline, requiring more assistance and potential longer-term care. Healthcare becomes the primary expense during this phase, with reduced spending on travel and recreation. So when you're planning out your post-work life, keep the implications of each of these phases in mind, and the impacts of your health on your activities and finances. Understanding and anticipating these phases can help you maximize your enjoyment of your post-work years. We hope this helps you in planning your post-work life. If you like this kind of content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And we also have a free newsletter that focuses on post-work life and issues like this. The link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the notes section of this video. Thanks for watching.